racing in the Eastern Cape on the 23rd of April. Looking forward to the 8 races that are carded on our Poly surface. And race 1 will start us off. It's a maiden plate for the fillies and mares, and they'll be racing over the 1200 meter trip. Numbers of interest for me here, 2, 6 and 4. So I lead with In Between Dreams, who is a daughter of Silvano, and I think she debuted well in the Eastern Cape. I know she jumped favourite, so perhaps let a few down, but I do think that she can make amends here. And the yard field, even though the 12 might be a little bit on the sharp side for her, she's got the ability to be very competitive, so I'm going with her for the win. For second, I think a horse like number 6, Val Gardena, scratch out her last. She went to the front. She didn't just go to the front though, she over raced badly. She practically ran away with her jockey that day, and it was inevitable that she was going to stop. If you have a look at her run prior to that, where she ran a really good second, taking on male opposition, it shows that there's a lot more to look forward to from her, and expect better. Number 4 is Shahidi, and barring the one run where she had very relevant excuses, the majority of her recent form has been super consistent, and she's been in the placings regularly. I do think we'll see her in action again. Race 2 is another maiden plate, so open maiden. They step up to the mile trip, and here 2, 1 and 3 will be my first 3 selections. I think a horse like Hikaru, who raids again under Candice Bass Robinson, we'll see a bit more of him here. Last time out over 1200, he was just found a bit wanting, and you've got to feel that the step up to the mile is going to be exactly what he's looking for. So although unproven on Poly, I do think that the step up and trip is going to be the main issue for him. He's going to enjoy it, and I do think he's got winning ability. The interesting horse in the race is the newcomer, number 1, slightly Spanish. He has his first run for the Gavin Smith yard off a majority of Highveld form, but his last start was in Natal, and it was on the Poly, and it was very encouraging. On that occasion, he finished 4th behind Superior Leader, so proven on the Poly, and in a new centre, I do think he's going to make his presence felt. Number 3, De Monte, is a very, very consistent sort. If you have a look at him, he is doing everything except winning. Since fitted with the blinkers, he has been right there, and heartbreakingly just keeps finding 1 or 2 to beat him home. I think that may be the case again today, but I definitely think he's a very strong trifecta and quartet contender. On to race 3, and we step it up here. Fillies and mares 96, and staying over the mile trip. It's a lovely field, but the horse that really catches my attention here is number 10, Encryption. She has only had the 3 local starts, but she really has held her own in all, placing in all, and very competitive placings at that. In her penultimate start, when running second behind Wallace Simpson, she went down only half a length and comes in here very, very much better off at the weight, some 5 kilos in fact, and in general carrying 53, I think is really going to be an asset too. I think she's a huge runner. In saying that, number 2, Wallace Simpson, is not a horse to discount. She's just really finding her feet now in the Eastern Cape, and she's really going from strength to strength. She was a good winner last time out when recording her 5th career victory in a conditions plate for fillies. It was a decent field, as it is once again today. I think we'll see her in the shake-up. Another Fref runner that is certainly a horse to be considered is number 4, Golden Chance. She's also been right there, actually the bridesmaid in the last 2 starts, and she's also knocking really hard at the door for that 3rd career win. This is the type of race she could get it right in, and don't discount her. We're back to the maidens for race 4, and this is a maiden plate for fillies and mares over the 1900 meter trip. First 3 for me here, 1, 7 and 3. Leading with Red Rules. She has had the 2 really good recent starts, finishing 4th behind Zeta Jones, and most recently 3rd very decently, only half a length of Tropical Giver. She showed good improvement that day, and in both starts she's really been doing her best work late. I do think that this is the right field for her to be very competitive, and I do think she's a standout runner for me. Number 7, The Summons, is new to the Eastern Cape and new to the Poly surface. She'll represent trainer Gavin Smith and races off Cape form, bar her last, where she did have a little bit of a hiccup, generally right there, and that form normally translates very well in the Eastern Cape. Gavin Smith has said to note that she is a little bit of a quirky horse, so just hoping all goes well for her, but she is showing the work, and if she keeps her cool, she can be very competitive, so do note that. Horse number 3 is Endless Charm. She would have needed her last as well as found it a little bit too short, and in that respect I think she ran a fantastic race behind Gallic Girl. I think stepping up in trip we're going to see even more of her, and do think she should be in the shake-up. Moving on to race 5, and this is a fillies and mares 68 handicap, again over the 1900 meter trip. These races are always super open. My first 3 picks here are 9, 11 and 10. So I kick off with the likes of Miss Caruso. I do think she's some decent value on the day. She's jumping from the neat draw of 2, which is a huge turnaround on her last when taking on male opposition. She had to come from draw 14 out of the 14 strong field that day. I think she did a cracking job, and on that occasion actually rounded up only 4 lengths off of the winner, that being At the Office on that occasion. I think back to same-sex company, drawn a whole lot better. We're going to see a lot more of her. As mentioned, I tip her ahead of the likes of number 11, La Duchesse. The yard, being fair, is a little bit out of form at the moment, but I do think that this filly can swing it around. She's drawn neatly here, and she's certainly a horse that's generally thereabouts. She's got steady stats over course and distance, and I think we can see her in the mix. Likewise, for a horse like number 10, close to my heart, she has been right there in all of her recent starts. Once again, aided by the claim of apprentice Uzay Ramzan, she'll have that 2.5 kilos off. She's drawn well in gate 4 and really holding form well at the moment. I do think she should get involved. Race 6 is a merit rated 74 handicap. They'll be sprinting over the 1000 meter trip. 9, 3 and 12 are the horses that I focus on here. Mojito Magic, I thought so much of his run last time out. Granted, he was in form, sure, but the 1200 on grass really should have proved a stretch for him, and I think he did a cracking job to round up half a length off of Derry in that second spot and hold form very, very well. I think he's going to be much happier on the poly, not concerned about the cut back to 1000 meters. He's got a draw that he can work with, and I think Mojito Magic is going to be very, very competitive here. Next up for second is horse number 3, Teophilia. You can't argue with his form. He is a model of consistency, and what I really like about that last run is that he took on significantly stronger in a merit rated 80 lineup when running fourth behind Aqua Delta, who of late has really proven to be a force to be reckoned with in the higher divisions over 1200. So I think Teophilia, off that type of run, being a good earner over track and trip, he can pop up here. He can really make a few horses run. Horse number 12 is next up, and that is For Luck's Sake. Taking a bit of a chance on this fellow. He is actually rising 10, and he is in fantastic form, easily at best on poly. He was a good second last time out, but he does race up a little bit of a break here. I'm hoping he'll actually enjoy being freshened up, and beautiful course and distance stats. 4 of his 8 wins coming over track and trip. He's drawn neatly in gate 5. Charles and Lorvo has partnered him on a few occasions. He's got no weight to carry. I wouldn't leave him out of trifectas and quartets. Race 7 on the card over 1200 meters is a fillies and mares 66 handicap. 3, 4, 5 will be my first 3 selections here. I do think this is a really open field, and in that respect, a horse like number 3, Elusive Jade, certainly catches my eye as far as consistency is concerned. She was a winner last time out, but she wasn't punished for the victory, having gone up 3 points. I think 1.5 kilos is something she can handle, especially with her love for the poly and such a regular contender. I think that she's got solid claims at going back to back here in what looks to be a very, very open field. So open, in fact, that my next 2 selections are actually having their post-maiden runs, and that's never ideal. Post-maiden runs are really tricky and often trip horses up, even if they carry on to go on well from there. Post-maiden run can sometimes be quite difficult. In saying that, number 4, Field Dancer, is a horse that finally found the winner's box last time out, but the yard have always expected her to be able to do a lot better. They've always rated her. So coming in here off her post-maiden win and having finally found her feet, maybe she's worked out what it's all about, and I'm hoping that she can stick to those winning ways and be in the shake-up again. Number 5, Gallic Girl, she made no mistakes last time out. It was her local debut, and she sauntered home to beat Madame Seville by 2.5 lengths. Madame Seville coming out to frank that form as well, which is always encouraging, and with positive comments coming through from the yard, I think you need to work her in. Race 8 is the last of the day, and over 1,300 meters. We round up with the merit rate at 68 handicap. Here, a horse that really catches my eye is number 2, Dogliotti. And I will say that if you take him out of this race, it opens up and practically everybody has a chance. I'm tipping him to beat numbers 10 and 6. But starting with Dogliotti, he will have his local debut here for the Gavin Smith yard and races off a really smart second last time out on the Greyville Poly when finishing under half a length off of Burning Wings. Again, stronger than what he takes on here. He actually drops some class. I think this guy is going to be a formidable opponent this afternoon. Number 10, All In Line, can't fault his form. He recently notched up a second career victory. He's been right there in both starts since, and even though the 13 might be a little bit sharp for him, he's got the draw to be able to work with it, and I think we'll see him right there again. Horse number 6 is Chainsaw. He's another one who's running in some really competitive and consistent form, and second last time out to a fair sort in the way of Regimental, who that day had notched up 3 wins on the trot. I do think that Chainsaw on that run must be respected. Flipping back now to start off our PA, and that will get underway in race 2 with the maiden plate over the mile trip. My numbers for the PA are my first 3 choices in the way of horses 1, 2 and 3, being slightly Spanish, Hikaru and De Monte, and that is in numerical order. Over to the second leg of the PA, and again my first 3 selections going in. So Wallace Simpson, Golden Chance and Encryption are all horses I do think should be included in the PA. I do feel, as far as that's concerned, if you're wanting to perhaps go a little bit lighter, I think my first pick of the bunch there as far as the weights are concerned would be number 10, Encryption. I do have a banker for the PA though, and that will come along in race 4, which is leg 3 of the PA, and for me a horse like number 1, Red Rules, is standout in the race, and she will be my banker in leg 3 of the PA. Race 5, go wide again, and my first 3 selections are all included, numerical order of 9, 10 and 11. I do think that Miss Caruso, close to my heart, and La Duchess have very much all have PA ability. Likewise for race 6, PA again gets the 3 selections, my first 3 selections being 3, 9 and 12, and those are the horses Teophilia, Mojito Magic and For Luck's Sake. The penultimate race on the card, penultimate leg of the PA, again the 3 horses. I really think this was an open race, and if possible would even maybe bolster it a bit here, but I think that we should see Elusive Jade in the mix. That's horse number 3, and I have backed her up with horses 4 and 5, Field Dancer and Gallic Girl. As mentioned a bit earlier, as far as race 8 is concerned, I think that Dogliotti is a horse I really expect to see in the first 3, and as such I have ended the PA with the banker of number 2, Dogliotti. The pick 6 will get underway at 1, and it starts in race 3 of the Fillies and Mares 96 handicap. Really smart field, and always loath to pick an absolute standout, but I do feel that Encryption most certainly is. I have decided though to back her up with the likes of number 2, Wallace Simpson, who is really just finding her feet. With number 4 as well, Golden Chance, who's a horse I think is really knocking for another win, and number 1, Princess Khaleesi, always about the action, can't be discounted as far as having upset potential as well. So 4 horses for the first leg of the pick 6. Race 4, and my PA banker was number 1, Red Rules. I've decided to stick with that as far as the pick 6 is concerned. So second leg of the pick 6, number 1, Red Rules is a banker. Race 5, and I think things start to open up here. I've gone a little bit wider through the middle section of the pick 6 and added to the PA numbers of 9, 10 and 11. I will also include 1, 4 and 5. Number 1, Zeta Jones. I know that her post-maiden run really didn't catch the attention, but if you look at the fact that she beat Swazi Queen to leave the maidens, and Swazi Queen came out to frank that form and then go on to win the East Cape Oaks, you've got to think that maybe Zeta Jones deserves another chance, so I have thrown her in. Number 4, Palace Queen, is also a horse that's a lot better than her recent form suggests, and has met and and actually beaten stronger than this, so I'm going to include her as well. And number 5, Flying Thunder, has got to be forgiven for a poor last where she had excuses, her prior form pointing out that she can do better. Moving on to race 6, and again for me a very open race. The PA numbers of 3, 9 and 12 will be included, and I add in a host of horses after that, 5 in fact. Number 1, Ambra, is down in class. She's a horse that loves 1,000 meters, and that gives her a chance at setting a cat amongst the pigeons. Number 4, Winging It, was a very competent winner last time out. The step back and trip is certainly going to suit, and his yard are also expecting another good run. Number 6, Pluviophile, his form is self-explanatory. It's a matter of time before he finds that winner's box again, and drawn well and aided by the claim, he has a lot of advantages on his side. Horses 10 and 11, Bright Flame and J Fizz, are also in fair form and are not without chance at popping up. Race 7, again, very open field. First 3 selections for the PA, 3, 4 and 5, definite inclusions, and then I go a little bit wider with 8, 14 and 15. 8 is Natural Jade, always there and thereabouts. She can pop up here, and horses 14 and 15 are Silver Fountain, a draw line through her last 2. She's had excuses, returning with a respiratory noise and a saddle slip. She's back on Polly. I'm looking for a much better run from her. And number 15, Earth Star, she's got a very deep draw to overcome, but she ran a cracker last time out, and if things go her way, this is the right type of field for her to be right there again. Again, race 8, and Dogliotti catches my eye, taking a chance and bankering him so I can go a little bit wider in the middle legs of the pick 6. So Dogliotti will finish off as a banker once again for me in the pick 6. As far as the jackpot is concerned, no changes. I'm quite happy with the fact that Red Rules is a banker. You could maybe use my pick 6 legs as a bit of a frame, add a few more in the legs 2, 3 and 4 of the jackpot. But yeah, sticking with that banker of Red Rules in the first leg of the jackpot, going a little bit wider, just like I did with the pick 6, and it mirrors really the legs, leg 2 of the pick 6 through to leg 5 of the pick 6. So use that as a frame, perhaps build on it if you like a couple more in those really open looking legs. That's a breakdown of the exotics. As far as my best and value bets are concerned, my best bet on the card is Red Rules, and you'll find her in race 4. She is horse number 1. As far as value is concerned, I really like the looks of Miss Caruso in race 5. She's horse number 9. She's paying quite decently for a win, and she really did try hard last time out against male opposition, so hoping for a lot better from her here. I hope the breakdown has helped you. I hope you have a great day's racing on Friday. Enjoy.